All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving our praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest, is I1 from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. And I spoke on this last night. I showed a clip. This is from Time Magazine, and I played a clip from this actual video, but this is the article here. It says, computer chips in our bodies could be the future of medicine. These patients are already there. So this is a technology that is rapidly overtaking the medical field. Okay, you have brain-computer interfaces. You have the eye implants. You have the biometric exoskeletons. You got different types of technology that is being used for medical purposes, and certain of these technologies are also being implanted in the brains of the people, which are to be a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Okay? So I showed you the clip in the video last night, but what I want to do, I want to read. Now this is from Time Magazine. This is November 24th, 2025. So this is the to be the latest issue this month. So this is Time Magazine, and it says Alice Sharton, 87, slowly lost her sight. A surgically implanted chip brought it back. Right? And they got the one eye Illuminati symbolism. So you gotta know what you're looking at. We can see that. I can see that from 1,000 miles away. All right, you see the one eye symbolism. But what does it also say? It says how brain-computer interfaces will shape humanity, seeing the future. So what is this? This is the Illuminati saying that the future to come will be implants. Now, if the Holy Spirit is working with you, as it's working with the true men of the Lord, the men of GMS, Great Millstone Israelites, then you can see that this is a predictive programming magazine article that is going to soon bring about the Motb. That's why it's dealing with the eyes. Okay? See, the veil is off of the eyes of the elect. We can see through what the majority of the world cannot see. So Esau, you're being exposed on this one. But let's get into these brain-computer interfaces. All right, now that we got the image exposed for what it is, like I said, the one eye covered up. If she were to put her hand right there, right, and then you have the one eye exposed, that's the all-seeing eye of Horus, or the eye of Providence, whatever they want to call it in these secret societies. Okay? Everybody's woken up to you devils. That's why your magic, your witchcraft doesn't work. This is your last ditch effort, is to try to get people implanted with these devices so you can control them. But Yahweh Shai is going to destroy this system. So I want to deal with these brain-computer interfaces, and this is one of these devils here that the Lord is using to bring about this technology. You notice it's not Jake. It's not Jacob. It's not Israelites. It's not Judah, Benjamin, on down to Issachar. It's not these men and women of the tribes of Israel that is creating this technology implantable technology that goes in human bodies. It's these Edomites. This is their this is going to be their magnum opus. Okay, look that word up. The magnum opus of Esau will be these biometric implants. So you have something called a retinal chip. This is a step closer to the Motb. Okay. Now let me see here. Okay, let me read this. So it says, Science Corp is not remotely alone in pursuing this union of the computer and the brain. This wedding of cold silicon and warm carbon. According to the World Economic Forum, WEF, you know who's in charge of that? You know, Carl Schwab and these different billionaire pundits, these different political figures. They're all backed by the elite banking families of Esau. Okay, so they're into pushing. This is why when it says in Revelation the 13th chapter, the beast is going to push the mark. According to the World Economic Forum, there are up to 680 companies worldwide, at least dabbling in brain-computer interface technology, making for a sector valued at $1.74 billion in 2022 and expected to grow to $6.2 billion by 2030. And last week I did a lesson in a video on the implants that go in the hand, these microchip implants. By 2030, it's expected to grow 2.5 plus billion. So all of this is showing you that there's big money behind pushing the Motb. So if you're an Israelite and you're a teacher and you're claiming that the mark of the beast is not the chip, then you're not a true prophet of Yahweh. God, in the Most High, Christ, did not choose you to be his true prophet. You're a false prophet. Okay? Everything is pointing to GMS being the true man of the Lord through the spirit and power of Yahweh. We've been warning you about this technology. Now this technology is mainstream. Okay? 2007, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, people were making videos and comments and talking all kinds of crap. Oh, they ain't gonna do no microchip. They ain't gonna do that. But now we're seeing it happen. And if you're seeing it happen, then that means that we would have to be the prophets, because we told you before it took place. We're coming down to the wire. We're coming down to the end of this society. The end of this world is here. And the new world to come cannot come unless they push the microchip implant, the brain-computer interface. It is a fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16. I'm not even going to get the scripture. I don't need to get it. Get the information. This is proof right in your face. They're telling you, right? Time magazine, and then they're putting the satanic symbolism in your face. The Illuminati all-seeing eye, how brain-computer interfaces will shape humanity. You see the symbolism with the woman seeing the future, because that's what is to come in the future. So this is a message to all those that are in the know of the esoteric circles, that they're about to push the Motb hard. They're about to push this tech hard. This is why we're having all these different problems here in America. The government shut down. People aren't able to get their food stamp benefits, so they can't eat. People are losing their jobs. What else? They can't travel back and forth. They're about to push the chip, but they're going to do it through the digital ID system. Okay? Oh, let me read this here. It says, over the last 20 years, every time there was an advance in this technology, the principal investigators would get calls saying that someone, the government, their wives, had put a chip in them. Says Florian Sulzbacher, the co-founder and chief science officer of Utah-based BlackRock Neurotech. We know that BlackRock is a front group for the Illuminati, pushing these, they pretty much own everything. What's the other one? BlackRock, you got, I forget the name of the other one. So you have to help me out on that one. But it's all a big agenda. It says a BCI company. There's a lack of training in critical thinking. BCI, for better or worse, is here. The job now is for scientists to figure out how to use it, and for lay people to figure out what to make of it. Let's see what lay people. I believe lay people. Go back to the church. Yeah, the lay people. A lay person, a non-ordained member of a church, an unordained person, non-expert, members of a religion who are not part of the clergy. But see, we're part of the actual true church, the Men of Great Millstone GMS. We're a part of the true church. And we understand that this is a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. It's coming. It says the new science is causing not just a technological sensation, but also a cultural one, twanging a live wire in the popular mind. No sooner were the you see it here, VID vaccines released in 2020 than unfounded rumors swirled that they contained microchips that would be injected in the body. And so they didn't push it then, right? But they're going to push it. Okay, let me read down here. It's not for nothing that Apple TV's Severance, so get this, a TV show, the addictively twisty thriller about office workers who undergo a micro-chip brain surgery to separate their work minds from their home minds, earned a staggering 27 Emmy nominations at the 2025 awards. Okay, I'm going to have to look into that show now. Because why did they get all those awards? Because they were pushing the agenda of the elites. People think it's just a TV show. No. The public reaction to developments in the BCI field is all of a piece with this, equal parts healthy fascination and troubling misinformation. Well, at the end of the day, it's all prophecy. And I read this part. So let's go back
90.
down here because I was reading. I was reading something. That's the point. This is a pretty long article. Yeah, that's the point with that. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read this. It says, brain-computer interface technology sometimes doesn't even require scientists to bother the brain at all. Even minimal, lightly invasive brain surgery is still, brain surgery. And a New York City-based Synchron Inc., which I mentioned this last week, a few videos, Jeff Bezos of Amazon and Bill Gates of Microsoft, they both invested into the Synchron company for their brain-computer interface known as the Stentrode. The Stentrode. Okay? It says, and a New York City-based Synchron Inc., they're able to avoid it. Instead, they thread a probe carrying a chip through the radial artery in the forearm or the femoral artery in the thigh up to the brain and deposit, so they go through your arteries and deposit the C hip in the main vein between the brain's two motor cortexes. From there, says Kurt Hagstrom, Synchron's chief commercial officer, you can actually listen to the brain and understand it without ever having to touch the brain itself. But they're putting it in the motor cortex, so you're touching the brain. Now, you may not be directly going through the skull. Stupid. So smart, but yet so stupid. Once you put a foreign device in the brain, it's in the brain. It's not supposed to be there. This is why the Lord says if you take this device, then you're going to be destroyed. Now let's look up the brain's two motor cortexes. And let me show you where the brain's motor cortex is. Let me see here. Search web. It says the brain's two. See, you gotta know a little biology. You gotta know a little science. When you're in this truth, truth is truth. It ain't just Bible scriptures. It says the brain's two main motor cortexes are the primary motor cortex and the premotor cortex, which is part of the non-primary motor cortex. The primary motor cortex is responsible for executing voluntary movements, while the premotor cortex handles the planning and preparation of these movements, especially when based on external sensory cues. These areas are located in the frontal lobe of each cerebral hemisphere, just in front of the central sulcus. Now, I went into this before, and I broke this down to the forehead. Okay. Let me see the frontal lobe. Let's look up the frontal lobe. Here we go. The frontal lobe. Each of the paired lobes of the brain lying immediately behind the forehead. Okay. Look at this. Frontal lobe. Each of the paired lobes of the brain lying immediately behind the forehead, including areas concerned with behavior, learning, personality, and voluntary movement. Because the people that do opt to take the Motb, right, the mark of the beast in the forehead, it's because they can't use their hands. Okay, but they can use their brains. They can think, right? So they'll be able to do pretty much what everyone else does by putting the mark in your brain, your frontal lobe. Okay, it says immediately behind the forehead, right? So now we can go into the scriptures, right? We filter everything that we bring out through the scriptures. This is how we know. This is how we know, not believe, right? Not just think. Okay, we know. The belief has turned into we know now. Okay? But it's still a belief. It's still a faith. Right? We have faith that we're not going to take this device, but we learning the truth. We know the truth. Yahweh said, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Let me get that before I get this. John 7. Not John 7:35. John 8 and 32. John 8 and 32. Right? What does it say? John 8 and 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So we know the truth. We know that the mark of the beast with the forehead is talking about the brain-computer interface. So this is, what does it say? Revelation 13 and 16. And it causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, all different people, to receive a mark that's an implant in their right hand or in their foreheads. Because what is behind your forehead, right? Hold up. Let me go back to it. Okay. The frontal lobe. When you look up the frontal lobe, what does it say? Each of the paired lobes of the brain lying immediately behind the forehead, including areas concerned with behavior, learning, personality, and voluntary movement. So you see it right there on your screen. And this is where they put those implants at, right? So we know what's going on, okay? We here at GMS, we know what's going on. You can't deny IUIC. You can't deny this IGBK. You can't deny it. The Wi-Fi, the HOI. None of you Israelite groups that teach outside of what GMS says when it comes to the Motb, you can't prove your doctrine totally correct. You say, oh, well, they might bring a microchip. They might. They talking about bringing a digital ID. Yeah, because it's a reality now. It's a reality now. It's in your face. That's all I got to bring out. That's it. I don't need to read nothing else. You can go into this yourself, right? And you can get deeper into the experimentation. There's a lot of information here. You can get all the information you need, right? They're giving you the images. They're giving you names, places. Look at this. A developer printed circuit board for a Seraport adapter. This component translates the analog electrical signals coming from a Utah array, the most common neural probe in humans today. So they attach this to a device that goes in humans, into a digital signal more easily understood by modern electronics, because they have something called transhumanism and the Internet of Bodies. They want to merge technology with the bodies of humans. Okay? So we're here now. We're here now in the time of the fulfillment of the Motb. Right? This is what? Updated November 11th, 2025. So that's today. Just this morning. So you Israelites, you keep thinking that things are going to get better, and they're not. It's everything, all roads is leading up to the mark of the beast, the Motb. Okay, and it's technology. All right, this is the future. I mentioned that in the last video I did. You know what? I got more. I got another. But you know what? I'm going to save that. And I'm going to come back again and do another video. Lord willing. All right? Lord willing, Yahweh Shai, gives me the spirit. I'll go into another video dealing with this technology in the Motb. Because we're seeing that the prophecies of Yahweh Shai coming to pass. And if this coming to pass, if this is coming to pass, then all the other prophecies are coming to pass. And if we are at the time of the Motb to be fulfilled, that means we're close to the nuclear destruction and the salvation. Okay, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So this prophecy of the beast pushing the implant, the micro C-hip, which is the Motb, the mark. We're at that appointed time now, and now it's speaking. It says and not lie. That means the prophets that are speaking about this vision is not going to lie. Well, those prophets are GMS. It says, though it tarry, wait for it. This is what we've been doing. We've been patiently waiting for it. Now we're seeing it happen. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Meaning it's not going to linger. It lingered for a time, but now it's at the time where it's speeding up. And you're seeing different articles, different reports, different videos, different information come out. Okay? So we out here warning the hopeful elect to not take it when it comes. You know, this is a warning to you to, you know, be prepared, because they're going to try to use this as the great temptation. Okay, let me read Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. And Yahushua is speaking here. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. That's just truth. Right? Patience, right? Though it tarry, wait for it. I also would keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. So what did Yahushua say to pray? Our Father which art in heaven, holy be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation. The ultimate temptation is going to be the Motb. Okay? So we're praying for Yahushua to lead us not into temptation, but what? But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Aman Tawab. So we are hoping to be kept away from having to need to be implanted, receive the mark. It says, I also would keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, the whole planet Earth. Okay? But especially over here in the West, all right, a part of the beast system, and here in America, Babylon the Great. It says, to try them that dwell upon the earth. This is a trial of faith. Okay? Verse 11, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So this is a thing of believing in Yahweh Shai all the way until the end. And if you keep the word in patience, what Yahweh also said, in your patience possess ye your souls. So I hope this lesson was edifying. Don't take the mark. Pray to be kept from the temptation. Peace to the hopeful elect out there of the Israelites, to the brothers and sisters that believe. With that, I'll say shalom.